Leroy.
The Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine. Millions of women all over America serve Parquet because it tastes so good. Why, Parquet tastes like it should cost twice as much.
To market, to get some Parquet. Home again, try it today. You'll like it, you love it, like millions who say their favorite margarine is
Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Well, we never expected to find Summerfield's water commissioner, the Great Gildersleeve, in ladies' hats. But that's where we find him today, in the ladies' hat business. Yes, he and Adeline Fairchild are about to open a fashionable millinery shop in her house, right next door. It's the morning of the grand opening, and the Gildersleeve family is at home, busily preparing for the great event.
Marjorie!
Yes, Unky?
You take those decorations over to Adeline?
Yes, Unky, and her living room looks awfully cute, just like a hat store.
Well, that's nice. Well, we got a lot of things to do if we're going to open by 3 o'clock. Let's see. Marjorie, you can call the florist.
All right.
Can't have a big opening without flowers. And tell them to send plenty of roses. If we have any left over, we can sew them on a hat. Did you call the musicians about wearing their tuxedos?
Yes, but the cello player doesn't have one.
Oh, well, he can hide behind his cello.
Uncle Mort, don't you think it's a little silly to have a string trio?
Silly? No, I don't. Your old uncle knows what he's doing. Adeline's Hat Salon is going to be a fashionable hat shop. So we've got to have a fashionable opening. Just like those stylish stores in New York.
Oh, sure. Aren't you going down to the water department today?
No, taking the day off. In fact, I may not be at the water department much longer.
What?
Well, this hat business might grow into a pretty big thing. Before long, we might have a whole chain of hat stores. I might even change my name. Chapeaux by Pierre Gildersleeve.
Oh, Unky. I'll go make those phone calls.
Paris in the spring, tra-la, tra-la.
Hi, Unc.
Oh, hello, Leroy. Did you get all your little jobs done over there, my boy?
Yeah, carried in all those hat boxes, helped Miss Fairchild move the tables around, and burnt the trash.
Oh, well, that's good. Now you can sweep the front walk.
Oh, Unc, I'm tired. Gee, it's your hat store. Why aren't you doing some of the work?
No, my boy, that's not the right attitude. Don't forget I'm doing the brain work, and that's the hardest job of all. Leroy?
Okay, I'll do it.
That's the spirit. And when you finish that, I'm going to give you $1.
A whole dollar?
Yeah. Will that make you feel better?
Sure. I'm not tired now.
Yeah, I thought so. Well, my boy, this opening could lead to big things. You may not know it, but you're gazing at the future hat king of America.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. Chapeaux by Pierre Gildersleeve. Oui, oui, madame. Oui, oui, mademoiselle. Ooh, la la.
Boy, what a character.
Better see how Mademoiselle Bertie's getting along with the refreshments. Paris in the spring, tra-la, tra-la.
Oh, hello, Miss Gildersleeve.
Bonjour, Bertie.
Huh?
How's everything coming out here?
Just fine. Got the sandwiches all made. Little bitty ones like you told me.
That's right, Bertie. Canopies. That's what they always serve at fashionable openings.
Sure sounds like it's going to be a fancy affair.
Well, that's the way you have to do these things, Bertie. I figured it all out. By having a ritzy opening, I got a big social leader like Mrs. Pettibone to come.
Miss Pettibone? I thought you and her didn't get along so good.
Well, she is a little on the stuck-up side, but business is business, Bertie. She's president of the women's club. Carries a lot of weight in this town. If we get her for a customer, the women will be flocking into our hat shop. We'll be selling hats like hotcakes. And some of them look like hotcakes.
Now, you sure were smart to figure that all out, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, you have to use your head in the hat business. Glad you liked it. Well, just better get over and see if Miss Fairchild needs any advice. Yeah, she's a lucky girl to have Pierre Gildersleeve for a partner. Paris in the spring, tra-la, tra-la.
What a man!
Good morning, partner. Well, looks like we're ready for business.
Does it really look all right?
Wonderful, Adeline. And those hats you made are really beautiful. Yes, sir, you've certainly got the artistic touch.
Well, it sort of runs in the family, I guess. My Aunt Clementine was a famous artist in Savannah.
She was?
Yes, she used to paint rosebuds on teacups.
That's all. Well, Adeline, with your talent and my business ability, we'll make a fortune in this place between now and Easter.
I suppose so. I am a little nervous, though. I didn't know my little hat shop was going to have such a fancy opening.
You just leave everything to old Uncle Throckmorton. A big opening like this will start us off with a bang. Why, Mrs. Pettibone alone will bring in half the women in this town.
Throckmorton.
Yes?
Mrs. Pettibone isn't coming to the opening.
What? Why not?
We had a spat at the women's club last night.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, she started it. I didn't.
But, Adeline, what happened?
Well, I overheard her make a remark about my dress. You know, my old-fashioned organdy with the bows.
What did she say?
She said it looked like something left over from Gone with the Wind.
But, Adeline, this is no time to quarrel with Mrs. Pettibone.
Throckmorton, that's an insult to the entire South. So I told her in her Yankee clothes she looked like General Grant's grandmother. She thinks she's so stylish, I can outdress her any day.
But, Adeline, this will ruin the opening if she doesn't come.
I don't care.
But you're upsetting all my plans. We'll lose a lot of customers.
If we have to depend on that Yankee for customers, I'd just as soon close up.
Close up? We haven't even opened yet. Adeline, you can't do this. Remember, I've got $200 in this hat shop. And we need Mrs. Pettibone.
I just don't want to hear any more about it. If she doesn't want to come, she doesn't have to.
But
I haven't got time to stand around here talking about it. I've got some work to do out back. See you later, partner.
What a partner. I wonder if Sears had this much trouble with Roebuck. Just got to patch things up with Mrs. Pettibone some way. Let's see. I wonder if I took her over one of these hats as a little peace offering. It might work. I'll pick out a nice one. Here's one. Got an ostrich feather on it. Just the thing for Mrs. Pettibone. She's got a neck like an ostrich. Yeah. Well, I'll try it. I got nothing to lose. Onward, Pierre Gildersleeve. Hope Mrs. Pettibone is home. I'll just flatter her a little bit. Make her think. What's that? Oh, Mrs. Pettibone's dog. His nose is turned up just like hers. Get away, dog. Get away from that hat box. Let go of that. Let go of that, you little punch.
Gildersleeve.
What? Oh, hello, Mrs. Pettibone.
What are you doing to my dog?
Oh, nothing. He won't let go of my hat box.
Well, you must have frightened him. Come here, Rollo.
Rollo.
Did the big fat man scare you?
Oop.
Well, here's your hat box, Mr. Gildersleeve. Good day.
Oh, Mrs. Pettibone.
Yes?
Guess what's in the hat box?
What?
A lady's hat.
Really? Are you selling hats door to door now?
Oh, no. No. It's a gift for you.
A gift?
Yes, I thought, that is, Miss Fairchild thought you might like to have it.
Miss Fairchild? No, thank you.
But
after the remark she made at the club last night.
Oh, well, Adeline's sorry about that.
I look like General Grant's grandmother.
You do? I mean, no, you don't. Adeline was only kidding. In fact, she insisted that I bring over this little peace offering.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you're not just saying that, so I'll attend your opening this afternoon, are you?
No. But I want you to just look at this hat. Here, I'll open the box. There. Isn't that a beauty?
Well, it is rather nice. Oh, and it has an ostrich feather.
Yeah. Came from a real ostrich. Looks like it was just made for you. Why don't you try the hat on, Mrs. Pettibone?
Well, all right.
Why, Mrs. Pettibone, it looks beautiful on you.
It does? Well, I just look at myself in the window here. Well, it does look rather chic, doesn't it?
Chic? Oh, yes. Mrs. Pettibone, it's a mighty good thing you're not coming to the opening this afternoon.
What?
Why, you look so beautiful in that hat, our customers would spend all their time admiring you.
Oh. Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, on second thought, I will attend your opening.
Well, if you insist. See you at 3 o'clock.
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Goodbye, Mrs. Pettibone. Yeah, I made it. Adeline, where is she? Adeline!
Is that you, Throckmorton?
Yes.
I'll be right there.
All right, take your time. Well, Gildersleeve, you did it again. I certainly have a way with women. Look at all these hats. Money, 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 money. Women sure put some strange things on their heads. Well, if they're silly enough to buy them, we're silly enough to sell them. Look at this one. Looks like a soup strainer with a veil on it. Well, I think I'll try this on just for fun. Yep. Take a look in the mirror here. Very chic. Well, I look as good as Mrs. Pettibone anyway.
Anybody here?
Oops, the judge.
Well, pardon me, madam. Haven't I seen you someplace before?
All right, Hooker.
You look very fetching in that hat, Gildy. Would you care to go to the movies with me tonight?
All right, you skinny old goat. Stick around. We can use you for a hat rack.
Very amusing. Well, I see you're all ready for the grand opening.
Yes.
I understand it's going to be quite a social event. Newspaper photographers, a string trio, everything very ultra.
Naturally, when I do something, I do it right.
Oh, too bad Mrs. Pettibone isn't coming.
What?
I hear she and Miss Fairchild had a little spat at the women's club last night.
Is that so? Well, that's ancient history, Methuselah. I just went over to Mrs. Pettibone's, gave her a hat with an ostrich feather on it, and the whole thing is patched up.
Oh, it is?
You bet. Nothing to it. I just happen to have a way with women, Judge.
Throckmorton. Oh, hello, Judge.
How do you do, Miss Fairchild?
Throckmorton, I don't know where I put that hat. I've been looking all over for it.
What hat?
The one with the ostrich feather.
The one with an ostrich feather?
Yes, I made that one especially for myself to wear to the opening this afternoon.
Well, you did?
When my picture's in the paper tomorrow in that stylish hat, Mrs. Pettibone will just turn green.
Oh?
Have you seen it, Throckmorton?
Gildy, isn't that the hat you gave to Mrs. Pettibone?
What? You gave my hat to Mrs. Pettibone?
Well, it was just a little gift, Adeline. That's how I got her to come to the opening.
She's coming here?
Well, yes. You see...
I'm warning you, Throckmorton. If that Yankee woman comes here wearing my hat, my Savannah temper's gonna boil right over.
Oh, but Adeline, you wouldn't make a scene, would you?
Oh, wouldn't I? I'm liable to rip that hat right off of her head.
Ye gods, Adeline, you'll ruin the opening.
I don't care. There's gonna be another civil war, and this time the South's gonna win.
Well, Gildy, you certainly have a way with women.
Why did I ever want to get in the hat business?
Bertie, do you know what taste buds are?
Taste buds? I never heard of them.
Well, it's like this. When you take one of your crisp homemade rolls from the oven and spread some parquet on it to try out the flavor...
I sure love testing them rolls with parquet. Sometimes I test 2 or 3 in one sitting.
Well, it's your taste buds that tell you the flavor is okay.
Okay, Bud. Okay, Mr. Wall. I don't know what you call them, but...
Taste buds, Bertie.
Well, they ought to call them taste like it should cost twice as much buds, because that's the way parquet tastes to me.
It's a luxury flavor, all right, Bertie. Light, delicate, and delicious. And the reason is parquet is prepared like a rare luxury food from the selected products of American farms. Yet with all its flavor and with all the nourishment and the 15,000 units of essential vitamin A you get in every pound of parquet, with all that, parquet costs only about half as much as the most expensive spread. Friends, if you want to have a real treat, serve parquet tomorrow.
Sure, you just sit down at the table and say, "Okay, bud, here comes that parquet."
That's Parkay, the margarine made by Kraft that tastes like it should cost twice as much. Well, the great Gildersleeve is learning that every hat does not have a silver lining. In fact, the hat with the ostrich feather on top is giving him a headache. Right now, he's nervously ringing Mrs. Pettibone's doorbell in a last-minute attempt to avert a civil war in the hat shop this afternoon.
Yeah, pretty bell. I can just talk her into taking this hat with a veil. Maybe she'll give me back the one with the ostrich feather. Guess she's not home. What am I going to do? I've just got to get that... Say, what's that in the window there? On the table. It's the hat. The one with the ostrich feather. The window's open, too. Wonder if I could reach in... No, that wouldn't be right. I don't know, though. I can put this hat in its place. A fair exchange is no robbery. This will fix everything. I'll just bend down here and reach in. Can't quite make it. Have to lean in a little farther. Feathers tickling my nose. Come to Throckmorton, you little...
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Pettibone. Oh, you're back.
What are you doing with your head in my window?
I was just looking for the water meter. Time to read it, you know.
The water meter is under the house.
Oh, yeah. Newfangled inventions. Mrs. Pettibone, I've been thinking. That hat with the ostrich feather doesn't quite suit your personality, so I brought you this hat instead. I think you'd look much better with a veil. I mean, it's more stylish.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve, but I simply adore the hat you gave me.
You do?
Oh, yes, indeed. The ostrich feather seems to do something for me.
Oh, then you wouldn't consider giving it back.
Oh, no. Why, no one could take that hat away from me now. I'd just like to see them try.
You will.
Well, good day, Mr. Gildersleeve. See you at the opening in my new hat.
Wonder if they will fight over that hat. That line sounded awfully determined. So did Mrs. Pettibone. Could be another battle of Bull Run. Well, maybe I'm worrying about nothing. I always worry so much. Adeline will calm down, I think. Yeah, let her drop into Peavy's. Check on that eye screen. Hello, Peavy.
Well, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. I suppose you're all ready for the grand opening this afternoon?
Yes. Just wanted to remind you, Peavy, don't forget to send out the ice cream.
1 gallon of vanilla, 1 gallon tutti frutti. It'll be there, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Good.
Like me to send out anything else for the opening?
Hmm?
Some iodine and bandages might come in handy.
What?
Just in case there's any trouble.
Oh. I see the judge has been broadcasting again.
Well,
Peavy, I don't think Adeline and Mrs. Pettibone will make a scene. Do you?
Well, I guess they won't.
No. Mrs. Pettibone is a refined society lady.
Yes.
Adeline is a charming southern woman.
Yes.
And two women like that wouldn't fight over a little thing like a hat.
No, I wouldn't say that.
They would not, Peavy. I know women.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that either.
Let's be logical about this. Now, you take your own wife. Would Mrs. Peavy fight about a hat with an ostrich feather?
No, I don't think she would.
There.
She doesn't like ostrich feathers.
What?
They give her hay fever.
Oh, my goodness. Peavy, the opening of this hat shop means a lot to me. I've got $200 invested in that thing.
Yeah?
If anything happens this afternoon, it'll be awful. Peavy, if you were in my shoes, what would you do?
Well, I'd take along the iodine and bandages.
Oh, goodbye.
Well, if it ain't the commish.
Hello, Floyd. Give me a quick shave.
Okay, hop right up in the chair. There you are. All set for the big opening today, commish?
Huh? Oh, yes.
Just before the battle, Mother.
Floyd.
I bet that'll be a lulu of a scrap, all right. What are you going to do, commish, referee?
All right, Floyd. Just get on with the shave.
Okay. Too bad you got to close up the hat shop the same day you open.
We're not closing. In fact, the opening is going to be a huge success.
Uh-huh. Commish, did you ever see two dames fight over a hat?
No, I haven't.
Well, I did once. Down to Hogan Brothers. Two gals got their eyes on the same hat, and they started tussling over it. And boy, you should have seen them. They almost wrecked the whole store.
They did?
Yep, knocked out two floor walkers, too.
Two floor walkers?
Yeah, I can just see what's going to happen at your opening. Everybody acting very refined and high class, and them fiddles playing soft music. Da-da-da-dum, dum-dum, da-dum. And then, bang, Mrs. Pettibone walks in and the fight starts.
Floyd.
Before you know it, the joint's in an uproar. Hats flying through the air, dames screaming. Then the riot squad comes.
Floyd, stop that.
Then tomorrow it's all over the front page. Riot in hat shop. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve found unconscious with an ostrich feather in his hand.
Oh.
Hey, where you going, Commish? I didn't finish your shave.
Never mind. I'll shave myself. Almost 3 o'clock. Guess I'd better go in the hat shop. Can't stand out here in front all day. Customers will start coming in a few minutes. This frock coat's kind of tight. Well, guess I'll have to get another one anyway. This one will probably get torn up when the fight starts. Well, here goes. Might as well go in and face the music. Hello, Leroy.
Gee, you look swell in that outfit. Just like a floor walker.
Leroy, don't say that.
Hello, Miss Gildersleeve.
Hello, Bertie.
I got all the food ready.
That's nice.
Yes, sir, I'm ready. Just let them come.
Yeah, let them come.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I know this is going to be like a real society opening.
Yeah.
And when Miss Pettibone walks in, that'll be the finishing touch.
It sure will.
Yes, sir, it's going to be a knockout.
I wonder what round. Bertie, have you seen Miss Fairchild?
She's out in the kitchen fixing some flowers.
Oh. Well, I better go out there, I guess. Oh? Musicians are here, huh? Yasha Mitz and his ensemble. Better go out and see Adeline. Maybe she's forgotten all about this Pettibone business.
Well, hello, Throckmorton.
Hello, Adeline.
I'm just fixing this last vase of flowers, and then we'll be all ready for the opening. I'm so thrilled, aren't you, partner?
Yeah. Partner.
Yes?
I suppose you've forgotten all about your little tiff with Mrs. Pettibone.
I've done no such thing.
Huh?
I'm going to take care of her, all right.
Well, what are you going to do?
She'll wish she'd never seen that hat with the ostrich feather. Hey, Aunt.
What is it, Leroy?
A lot of women are out there, and Mrs. Pettibone just came in.
Where are you going, Adeline?
Out of my way, Throckmorton, and I hope she's wearing that hat.
Oh, my goodness.
Something wrong, Unc?
Oh, no, everything's fine, Leroy. Say, was Mrs. Pettibone wearing a hat with an ostrich feather on it?
Yeah, she sure looked funny.
That's all I wanted to know. I'll see you later, Leroy.
Hey, Unc, what are you going out the back door for? That's the wrong way.
That's what you think.
Hi.
Goodbye. Here I am, Adeline, in the den.
Throckmorton, where have you been? And why did you run over here to your house?
Well,
We had a wonderful opening.
We did? Who won? I mean...
We had an awfully big crowd, took pictures for the newspapers, and we got a lot of orders for hats.
But didn't you and Mrs. Pettibone have a fight?
Of course not, silly.
But she wore your hat with the ostrich feather.
I know that. And she looked so nice, I talked her into wearing it in the Easter parade.
Well, then everything's all right between you two?
Well, I didn't say that.
Huh?
I'm going to get even all right. I have a little plan. I'm going to make 24 hats with ostrich feathers and sell them for Easter.
You are?
Mm-hmm. Just wait till the stylish Mrs. Pettibone sees all those other women wearing hats just like hers. That Easter parade will look like an ostrich farm.
Yeah. Adeline, you're a little minx.
Maybe I am.
You know, you were right about Mrs. Pettibone.
What?
She does look a little like General Grant's grandmother.
A cup of steaming coffee and golden brown waffles covered with parquet. There's a combination that would be hard to beat on any February morning. And parquet margarine is as nourishing to your system as it is delicious to your taste. Get some parquet tomorrow, or at the latest before those big leisurely Saturday or Sunday breakfasts you'll probably have this weekend. And as you take big, generous helpings of parquet, remember, it costs only about half as much as the most expensive spreads. That's all the more reason for enjoying that light, delicate flavor, that luxury flavor you get when you eat parquet, the margarine that tastes like it should cost twice as much. That Parkay, parquet margarine made by Kraft.
Well, looks like this hat business is going to be all right. We had a wonderful opening yesterday after all.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Pettibone. Oh, hello, Rollo.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, a terrible thing happened this morning.
Oh, what's that?
Naughty little Rollo got hold of my hat with the ostrich feather and chewed it all up. Isn't that a shame?
Oh, yeah.
Now I won't be able to wear it in the Easter parade. I know Miss Fairchild will be dreadfully disappointed.
You don't know the half of it.
What's that?
Nothing.
Rollo, did you sneeze?
I guess that ostrich feather gave him hay fever. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry, Adeline Fairchild by Miss Una Merkel. The show was written by Gene Stone and Jack Robinson with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, and Richard LeGrand. This is John Wald saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
You bet.
Here's a real bargain. An all-aluminum Silent Butler. $1.50 retail value, and it's yours for only 50 cents and a Pabstet label. This Silent Butler is handsome enough for a gift, and it's big. Has a deep, generous-sized bowl, a long handle, a hinged top that opens at your touch. It's just the thing for collecting cigarette ashes or crumbing your table. Now today, just get either regular Pabstet or the new Pabstet 2-pound economy loaf. Your dealer will give you full details about getting this beautiful aluminum Silent Butler valued at $1.50 for only 50 cents.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company. Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine. Millions of women all over America serve Parquet because it tastes so good. Why, Parquet tastes like it should cost twice as much.
To market, to get some Parquet. Home again, try it today. You'll like it, you love it, like millions who say their favorite margarine is
Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. A few weeks ago, the Great Gildersleeve bought an interest in a ladies' hat shop which Adeline Fairchild started next door. The venture's been such a success. We find the great man and his nephew Leroy over there nailing more shelves on the living room wall to accommodate more hats.
Attaboy, Leroy. Hold the shelf steady.
Okay, Unc. Bet you can't drive the nail in with 3 licks.
I'll bet I can. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Hit the wrong nail. Leroy, your ideas.
Sorry, Unc. You better give me the hammer before you hurt yourself.
I can drive a nail, Leroy. Besides, that last lick doesn't count. Stand back.
Okay.
3.
Not bad, Unc.
Oop, knocked some plaster loose.
Gosh, what a chunk. I'll bet Mrs. Ransom wouldn't recognize her parlor.
Oh, well, it'll never show. After we hang one of Adeline's picture hats over the hole.
Good idea, Unc. I'm glad you asked me to help you this afternoon.
You are?
Of course, I am getting a little tired. Maybe I ought to go somewhere and relax.
Go somewhere and relax?
Yeah. Like in a 25-cent movie.
Well, we'll see, Leroy.
Well, look at the 2 little busy bees.
Hello, Adeline.
Hi, Miss Fairchild. I'm helping Unc. And you're doing a good job, Leroy, but gracious, how did all those scratches get on the floor?
Scratches? Oh, well, I guess I did that moving the piano into the bedroom.
Throckmorton, the floor looks awful.
Now, Adeline, we'll have it refinished sometime out of the profits. Any checks come in the mail?
Well, I haven't looked yet, but we got a lot of letters.
We did?
Well, let's look, Unc. Maybe I should go to the movie out of the profits, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, some movies. Well, here's a quarter, Leroy. You've been a big help.
So have you. Thanks for the quarter. Goodbye, Miss Fairchild. Goodbye, Leroy.
That boy. All he thinks about is money. Well, let's open the mail and see how many checks came in.
This must be the check from Mrs. Bullard.
Mrs. Bullard, huh? After the way Mr. Bullard panned our hat shop, I didn't think she'd buy one.
Well, there it is. Isn't that pretty? $32.50.
By George, Adeline, this shop's a gold mine. Bullard may pan our hats, but we're panning the gold.
Oh, you.
Say, here's a scented envelope. Nice perfume. It smells like... It is. It's from Leila.
Cousin Leila? I didn't see that. I haven't heard from her in weeks.
Wonder what Leila has to say.
Throckmorton, if you'll notice the envelope, it's addressed to me.
It is? Oh, well, then you better read it. Hurry up.
Well, what are you so excited about? It's only from my cousin.
Excited? Who's excited? What does she say?
Well, I'll read it out loud. Dear cousin, now that the social season in Savannah is nearly over, I can't wait to get back to my charming little home in Summerfield.
Leila's coming back?
Sounds like it.
Does she say anything about us running a hat shop in her house?
Hat shop? Throckmorton cousin Leila doesn't even know we have a hat shop.
Of course she... What?
Well, I've been so busy getting the shop started and all, it hasn't occurred to me to write to her, Bertie.
Oh, my goodness, Adeline, we shouldn't have made all these changes without consulting Leila. You know how fussy she is about her house.
We haven't made so many changes, Throckmorton. All we've done is take down the drapes and store her parlor furniture in the basement.
Yeah, and paint the parlor chartreuse.
Yes, and of course we did put in a few counters and nail some shelves to the walls. You know, Throckmorton, she may be a little upset at that.
She may be. What else does Leila say?
Well, she says, I can't wait to get back. I can just picture my cozy little parlor.
What a picture.
And listen to this, Throckmorton. The thing I look forward to most of all is curling up with a good book on my favorite love seat.
Well, she'll have to go down to the basement for that. The books are down there, too.
Oh, dear. When Leila walks into her parlor, there goes our hat business. What do you think we should do, Throckmorton?
Well, perhaps one of us should write her and explain things. You, for instance.
Me? Why don't you write to her?
Me? I can't write. I hit my thumb. I know. I'll get Judge Hooker to write to her. This looks like a job for a lawyer. Hello, Judge.
Well, if it isn't our versatile water commissioner. What's on your brain today, water or hat?
All right, Hooker. Courthouse comedian.
What?
Judge, I want you to handle some confidential correspondence for me.
Confidential? Sit down, Gildy. What is it?
Get your nose out of my face, Judge. You're not going to hear any scandal.
Oh? Well, what's on your mind?
I want you to write a letter to Leila Ransom for me.
You want me to write a letter to Leila?
That's right. It's so important to me, I want it phrased by a lawyer.
What's the matter, Gildy? Have you run out of ways to say I love you?
Horace, that's all over, and you know it. My past with Leila is just water under the bridge.
And stored in your reservoir of memories.
Oh, Ferb. This is no time to be poetic. Leila's coming back to town.
She is?
And she doesn't know her house is a hat shop now.
Well, Gildy, it looks like you have a little explaining to do.
I hate to bring this up, Judge, but you were the one who advised Adeline to go ahead with the hat shop in the first place. And you're also in charge of Leila's property. So the explaining is your job.
My job?
That's right. And I have a little suggestion.
You have?
You write to Leila and convince her that the hat shop is a good idea. That's all there is to it.
But, Gildy, you're putting me in the middle.
Well, you're an old goat. Let me see you butt your way out. Well, somehow everything looks brighter today. Maybe because it's Sunday. By George, when Leila gets the judge's letter, everything's going to be all right. You bet. I don't have a thing to worry about.
Hello, Unky. Hi, Unc.
Well, hello, infants.
Unky, I saw Miss Fairchild in church this morning, and she told me Mrs. Ransom's coming back.
Yeah, what about that?
Well, what about it?
Well, she seemed afraid Mrs. Ransom might close the hat shop.
Now, Marjorie, I had Judge Hooker write Leila a letter yesterday explaining the whole thing. There's nothing to worry about.
Well, I hope not. Remember, you promised me a new Easter suit out of the profits.
No, my dear, you'll get your new suit.
Hey, what about the new bike you promised me out of the Easter profits? I've been looking forward to Easter like it was Christmas.
I'm well aware of that, Leroy. You don't have to worry about a thing.
Yeah? But when Mrs. Ransom sees that hole you hammered in the wall, she'll close your shop and I won't get my bike.
No, Leroy.
A hole in her wall?
I'll say. And you should see the scratches on the floor where we moved the piano.
Unky, you scratched Mrs. Ransom's beautiful floor?
No, Marjorie.
Oh, now I know she'll close your hat shop.
Oh, my goodness.
Where you going, Unc?
Out in the backyard where I can get away from you gloomy gussers. I don't want to hear any more about Leila closing the hat shop.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Hello, Bertie.
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes?
Miss Fairchild was telling me you might have to close the hat shop.
Bertie, don't you start worrying, too.
But if you do have to shut down, what about that garbage disposal you promised my kitchen?
Bertie, if we shut down, there won't be any garbage. We won't be eating.
What?
I'm only kidding, Bertie. I'll still be the water commissioner. Now they got me worried again. Let's see. The judge sent the letter Saturday, airmail special delivery. And here it is Monday night. Yeah, Leila should have received it today. Wonder what she'll say. After all we've been to each other, she can't possibly object to me running a hat shop in her parlor. No. I know what she'll say. She'll be the same old Leila. Tender as a kitten.
Throckmorton. You just go right ahead and make all the money you want to in that cute little old hat shop.
I knew it.
After all we've meant to each other, you know I can't refuse the man I've been engaged to twice.
Yeah, good old Leila. She won't refuse me. I don't think. Still, that hot southern blood may boil when she hears about this. She's so emotional. She can get angry, though, if she happens to be in a bad mood when she reads that letter.
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Close that hat shop, you carpetbagging Yankee, you!
I was afraid of that. Doorbell. I'll get it, Bertie. I'm up.
Evening, Gildy.
Judge, come on in. Any news from Leila?
Now, Gildy, wait until I get my coat off.
Well, hurry up. Come on in the parlor. What did she say?
Just a moment while I get my file on the matter out of my briefcase.
Oh, I don't know why you bother to unzip that shabby old briefcase, Judge. Why don't you just pull the papers out through the holes?
Now, Gildy, here we are. Leila Ransom versus Fairchild and Gildersleeve.
Oop, has it come to that?
Now, don't get excited, Gildy. It's easier to file this way. A legal form...
Never mind, Judge. What did Leila say?
Well, first, I think I should read you the letter which I dispatched to her.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, I'm quite proud of it. I worked on it for 3 hours.
It'll take you that long to read it. Give it to me.
Very well.
See. My dear Mrs. Ransom. Well, nice diplomatic opening, Judge.
Thank you.
Very good. Why, George, you're a genius, Horace. You outdid yourself.
Wait until you come to the piece de resistance.
Oh? And then, not only has your parlor become a focal point for Summerfield society, good point, Horace, excellent, but by reason of the fact that Mr. Gildersleeve and Miss Fairchild have refurbished both the exterior and interior of your home, the value of your property has been greatly enhanced. Yeah, Judge, I never would have thought of that angle. Very shrewd. Lawyers are all right. In fact, your whole letter is a masterpiece.
I thought so, too. That's why I can't understand this telegram I just received from Leila.
What?
Am arriving tomorrow to close that hat shop. If there's the slightest damage, we'll sue.
Well, there aren't any slight damages. Just a hole in the wall.
And that didn't work, Mr. Wall, so I says to him, Leroy, you eat them greens.
Did that work, Bertie?
Nope. Then I tried something else. I said, Leroy, honey, you eat those greens, honey.
That get any action?
No, sir.
Then what did you try?
Well, I just stopped saying anything. Instead of that, I put a nice big spoonful of melting parquet on those greens. Then you ought to see him, Mr. Wall.
Why, sure. Parquet tastes so good. That's why, Bertie.
Yes, sir, Mr. Wall. Parquet tastes as good on greens as it does on biscuits or waffles. Whether you use it for bread or cooking or flavoring, parquet tastes like it should cost twice as much.
That's right, friends. And parquet has that light, delicious taste because it's prepared like a rare luxury food from the selected products of American farms. What's more, every nourishing pound is reinforced with 15,000 units of essential vitamin A. When you taste parquet, it's hard to believe that it costs only about half as much as the most expensive spreads. So, if you want to win your children over to certain vegetables that they may be a little balky about eating, or if you just want to make good food taste better, you try Parquet. That's Parkay, Parquet, the luxury spread made by Kraft. The margarine that tastes like it should cost twice as much. Now let's see how the great Gildersleeve's recovering since he got a shock from a wire. Oop! A Western Union wire saying, close that hat shop.
Well, if Leila's coming tonight, it's too late to get her house back in shape. I might as well face the facts. There goes my profitable little sideline. I think I'll stop in at Peavy's for a Coke. Oh, Peavy.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can your friendly neighborhood druggist do for you?
Well, you can give me a Coke, Peavy.
Very well.
And put a lot of fizz in it. I need it.
That so?
Yeah. A little upset. Got some bad news last night.
Oh?
Miss Fairchild and I have to close the hat shop.
You don't say.
Yeah. Leila Ransom is kicking us out of her house, bag and baggage.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Peavy, I don't see how Leila could do a thing like that.
Well, sometimes women are hard to understand. And I say that with all due respect to Mrs. Peavy.
I had the judge write Leila a very diplomatic letter. A masterpiece. But she wouldn't listen to reason.
Well, if I want Mrs. Peavy to see things my way, I don't resort to reason.
Oh?
Heavens to Betsy, no.
Well, how do you get her to see things your way, Peavy?
Well, now, a person might not suspect it, Mr. Gildersleeve, but Mrs. Peavy is a sentimental soul.
She is?
So I just sit down with her and recall our halcyon days together.
Your halcyon days?
How we first met at that Sunday school picnic. Or the time I snitched that hydrangea out of the botanical gardens for her.
Oh? Does that work, Peavy?
Yeah, I'm here to tell you. And before you know it, Mr. Gildersleeve, she's letting me smoke in the house again.
Yeah. Peavy, you've given me a great idea. Leila's coming back tonight, and it may take a little hard work, but I'm going to sit down and do the very same thing with her.
You call that hard work?
What? Peavy, you're an old rascal.
Well, now, Alvin. Well, maybe I am.
Goodbye, you old rascal. Adeline, I don't know why I didn't think of having this little private talk with Leila before. It's the only way to save the hat shop. Have a man-to-man talk with her.
Man to woman, you mean?
What?
Throckmorton, I know you and Cousin Leila, and I don't think this is a good idea. I'm going to the train with you.
No, Adeline, you better let me handle this alone. I'll take Leila right from the train to my house.
Why, your house?
Well, so she won't see all the changes we made and get excited.
Oh.
We'll have a quiet little talk, and before you know it, she'll be letting me smoke in the house again. Peavy, I'll have her on our side.
Well...
Sure, and I'll call you right after I've paved the way.
Well, just be sure you pave the way to our hat shop and not back to your old romance with Leila.
Adeline, you've got to trust your partner.
Well, I do trust you with the money, but I don't trust you with Leila.
Oh, my goodness. Believe me, this is strictly business. Well, I will say, Bertie, you've done a nice job fixing up the parlor.
Thank you, Mr. Gildersleeve. You really think Miss Ransom's going to close the hat shop when she comes?
Well, I think she might change her mind when we sit down and talk it over tonight.
Yes. Want me to move the couch closer to the fire?
The couch? Now, Bertie, this meeting is strictly business.
Yes, sir. Where you want me to put this dozen red roses?
Roses? Well, you might put those on the piano. Don't move the sheet music I laid out. If she's hard to convince, I may have to sing to her.
Singing to Mrs. Ransom. Sure sounds like old times.
Yeah, now, Bertie, this is the only way to save the hat shop.
Yes, sir.
Nothing personal about this meeting between Mrs. Ransom and me at all. It's hard-headed business.
Yes, sir. You want me to burn a little of that business-type incense in here?
Incense? Well, you might burn a little while I go to the train. I don't want to be too hard-headed about this meeting.
Yes, sir.
Wonder where she is. Don't see her getting off the train. Say, maybe Leila's changed her mind. Women do change their minds. Wouldn't it be wonderful if she didn't come?
Well, Throckmorton. Are you the welcoming committee?
Leila, for a minute I thought you weren't coming.
Disappointed because I did, Throckmorton?
Oh, no.
Why isn't Cousin Adeline here?
Well,
And my lawyer.
Lawyer? Well, I told Adeline and the judge I'd like to meet you alone, Leila, because you and I are such dear old friends. Oh, almost forgot. Here's a little kiss from the welcoming committee.
Now, just a minute, Throckmorton.
What?
If you think I came all the way from Savannah just to stand here with you and smooch on the depot platform, you've got another thing coming.
But, Leila...
Grab my bags and take me home. I want to see what's been going on in my house.
I'll see. Well, here we are at home, Leila.
Well, aren't you going to take me on to my house, Throckmorton?
Well, I thought we'd stop and talk here at my place first.
But, Throckmorton, I want to see my Paula.
I doubt that. Hey, come on, Leila, hop out. I have a little welcome prepared from a little old girlfriend.
Well, stop pulling me.
Oh, sorry, Leila.
Is that a neon sign I see in my window?
Plenty of time to discuss those things, Leila. Right now, you need some hot chocolate. Great after a train trip. Come on in, for old time's sake.
Well, I might run in for a minute.
Sure. Old friends like us can take a few minutes to recall our halcyon days.
What?
Here. Let me help you out of your coat.
Oh, thank you.
Haven't done this in a long time.
Gracious, what beautiful roses on the piano.
Glad you liked them. They're for you, Leila.
For me? Oh, Throckmorton, you shouldn't have.
Oh, yes, I should. Sit down, Leila. By George, you look wonderful. Pretty as a picture.
Oh, you really like me in this little old dress?
Do I?
Excuse me, folks.
Oh, come on in, Bertie. Mrs. Ransom's here.
Well, Bertie, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Miss Ransom. Welcome home. Where do you want the hot chocolate, Miss Gildersleeve?
Here on the coffee table, Bertie, and thank you very much.
Yes, sir. How's everything in Savannah, Miss Ransom?
Just fine, Bertie.
That's good. And how you been?
Just grand.
That'll be all, Bertie. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a nice trip out. Oh, very pleasant, thank you, Bertie.
Bet you surprised to see all the snow, wasn't you?
Bertie?
Oh, yes. You got business to talk about.
What does Bertie mean by business, Throckmorton?
Business? Oh, I haven't the slightest idea.
Throckmorton, I smell a rat.
Must be that incense. I mean, by George, Leila, it's wonderful to have you back. Remember the fun we used to have together?
Well,
Picnicking, going to the movies, holding hands in the balcony.
that was a long time ago. Sounds awfully childish now.
Oh, I don't know. Remember the time we were going home from the sleigh ride and your little pink ears got cold? And we put our heads together and made one pair of earmuffs do for two? Nothing childish about that, Leila. And we shouldn't forget those things.
Now, Throckmorton, what's past is past. That's all water under the bridge.
Well, it may be, but it's stored in my reservoir of memories.
Well, Throckmorton, I didn't think those things meant so much to you.
Oh, yes, they do. I never forget a friend. And I don't expect her to forget me either.
Throckmorton, are you trying to sweet-talk me because of that hat shop?
Me? No. Not doing so well. Better put on the pressure. Leila, how'd you like to have me sing?
Oh, now,
Come
Throckmorton.
on over to the piano and play for me.
Well, just once, and then I'll have to go next door.
All right. And I just happen to have some music laid out here.
Oh, Throckmorton, you mean you can sing I'd Like to Get You on a Slow Boat to China?
I sure would. I mean, I sure can.
Well, I hope I can play it.
Oh, sure. Beautiful touch, Leila.
Oh, you flatterer.
I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all by myself alone. Get you and keep you in my arms evermore. Leave all your lovers weeping on a faraway shore. Out on the briny with a moon big and shiny, melting your heart of stone. Hope it works. I'd love to get you on a slow boat to China, all by myself alone.
Oh, your voice has always thrilled me. Throckmorton.
Yes, Leila.
You've been mighty big about all this. Oh, now, being so nice to me, having flowers for me and all, knowing all the time I came up here to close that hat shop you and Cousin Adeline started.
Well, I'd do anything for a friend.
I believe you would. So do you know what I think you deserve?
What, Leila?
I think you deserve that kiss.
But, Leila... You know what, Leila?
What?
I think you deserve one, too. In fact, I think you deserve another one.
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Who said that? Oh, Adeline.
Oh, my gracious. So this is the way you're saving the hat shop.
The hat shop? Oh, yes. By the way, Leila.
Saving the hat shop? So that's what you're up to. Now I know I'm going to close that place.
But, Leila.
Don't you Leila me, you two-timing depot Johnny.
Oh. Adeline, partner, say something.
Don't partner me. We just dissolved. And as for you, Cousin Leila. Now, just a minute, Cousin
Madam,
Adeline.
girls. No, wait a minute.
A lot of people are firm believers in eating pancakes triple-decker style. And if that's the way you like them, try this the next time you have pancakes for breakfast. Put a generous helping of parquet margarine between each layer. Then you're set to enjoy the light, delicate flavor that parquet brings to food. No need to hold back, because for all its delicious taste, parquet costs only about half as much as the most expensive spreads. Yes, only about half as much for this spread that brings a real luxury to any food you use it with. Try parquet this week. That's Parkay, parquet margarine, made by Kraft. The luxury margarine that tastes like it should cost twice as much.
Judge, guess what happened? I thought I was going to lose all the money I had in the hat business, but here's Leila's check for $200.
Oh?
Yep. I talked her into buying my share.
You don't say.
Yeah. Takes a pretty smart man to get his money out of a business that's being closed.
Well, Gildy, after talking with Leila, I discovered that she didn't come up here to close the hat shop.
She didn't?
No, when she heard how successful the shop was, she just threatened to close it so she could buy you out cheap.
What? A man has no business in ladies' hats anyway. Good night, folks, from your water commissioner.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry, Adeline by Miss Una Merkel, and Leila by Shirley Mitchell. The show was written by John Elliott and Andy White, with music by Jack Meakin. Be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Here's a real bargain, an all-aluminum silent butler. $1.50 retail value, and it's yours for only 50 cents and a Pabstet label. This silent butler is handsome enough for a gift, and it's big. Has a deep, generous-sized bowl, a long handle, a hinged top that opens at your touch. It's just the thing for collecting cigarette ashes or crumbing your table. Now today, just get either regular Pabstet or the new Pabstet 2-pound economy loaf. Your dealer will give you full details about getting this beautiful aluminum silent butler valued at $1.50 for only 50 cents.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
The
Kraft Foods Company presents Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve. The Great Gildersleeve is brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of Parquet margarine. Millions of women all over America serve Parquet because it tastes so good. Why, Parquet tastes like it should cost twice as much.
To market, to get some Parquet. Home again, try it today. You like it, you love it, like millions who say their favorite margarine is
Parkay, Parquet margarine, made by Kraft. Well, after his little flyer in the ladies' hat business, the great Gildersleeve has finally settled down to earth again. Yes, he's given up his interest in Adeline's hat salon, and he's decided to plunge back into the water department. We find our man of action up bright and early this morning, charging down the stairs.
Bertie! Bertie!
Yes, sir? You up already, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Of course, Bertie. Is breakfast ready?
Breakfast? No, sir. It ain't due for a half hour yet. You didn't tell me you was getting up early.
Well, it is a little earlier than usual, but I've got a lot of things to do, Bertie.
Yes, sir.
I woke the children up, too. They'll be right down. So if you'll just hurry breakfast along a little.
Yes, sir. I'd have had it ready now if you just let me know. You can have breakfast any time you want it. All you got to do is let me know.
Yeah. Well, this is a great idea, getting an early start like this. I'll really make up for lost time. Good morning, children.
Hi. Unky, why do we have to have breakfast at this unearthly hour?
Now, Marjorie, it's only half an hour earlier than usual.
Yeah, I need my sleep, Unc. I'm just a growing boy.
Yes, indeed, Leroy. Won't hurt you children to get up early once in a while. It's good for you.
Oh, sure. Gee, breakfast isn't even ready yet.
Well, it will be in a minute. Come on now. Let's sit down at the table.
Okay. Uncle Mort, what's gotten into you all of a sudden?
What? Nothing, my dear. It's just that I realize I've been neglecting my duties as water commissioner these past few weeks. Well, that's all over. From now on, I'm going to devote my full time to the water department. I'm going to be a water commissioner that Summerfield can be proud of.
Hooray!
Thank you. Leroy, watch it, young man. I'm serious about this. I'm even going to work before I get to the office. On my way down there, I'm going to collect a water bill.
You are?
Yeah, it's 3 months overdue. Some singing teacher, a Madam Bertha Kimmel, probably very bohemian, can't be bothered with water bills. Well, I'll show her. She'll either pay this bill or she'll have to dig a well in the backyard.
That's great, Unc. When do we eat?
Eat? Oh, yes. Wonder what Bertie's doing out there. Bertie!
Yes, sir, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Bertie, we're waiting for breakfast.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it ready yet?
No, sir, it ain't ready. But it would have been if you told me beforehand. All you got to do is let me know.
Yes, well...
I ain't got no way of knowing when you want breakfast unless you tell me. All you got to do is let me know.
Okay, Bertie.
I ain't no mind reader.
I know that.
I ain't no gypsy fortune teller.
Bertie,
I ain't got no crystal ball.
I understand, Bertie.
All you got to do is let me know.
Please, Bertie.
You can have breakfast anytime you want it.
Thank you, Bertie.
If you want it, I can get it ready in the middle of the night. All you got to do is let me know.
Yes, I should have let her know. That's Madam Kimmel's place, I guess. That little cottage in there. Place looks pretty run down. Singing teacher, huh? Oh, my goodness, listen to her. Sounds like the noon whistle down at the sawmill. Come on, Madam Kimmel, stop gargling and answer the door.
Yeah? What is it, please?
Oh, Mrs. Kimmel. I mean, Madam Kimmel?
Yeah?
I'm Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. What a funny name.
Yes, well, I wanted to talk to you about the water.
Water? Thank you, I don't need any. I have plenty.
No, I want to talk to you about your water bill. You owe us some money.
Oh? I owe you money.
Yeah. In fact, I've got your bill right here. You owe us...
Come in. I do not understand these things. You can explain it, no?
I can explain it, yes.
Good. Come in.
Yeah, thank you. You see, Madam Kimmel, you owe for 3 months. That comes to...
Sit down, Mr. Gildersleeve. Make yourself comfortable.
Well...
Here, I take the bird cage off the chair.
Oh, yeah. Can't sit on the bird cage. Madam, I'm a very busy man, and I'm in a hurry to get to my office. Unless you want us to... Well, if you want the service, I must ask you to pay this bill in full. $9.50.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I'll tell you a little secret.
What's that?
I do not have any money.
You don't have any money?
No. Oh, but do not worry. I have plenty soon. Then I get my call from the Metropolitan Opera Company.
Opera Company?
Yeah. I'm a singing teacher only temporarily. I am really a star of the opera.
You are?
But yeah, I sing them all in my day. The Cigarette Girl in Carmen. Yeah.
Madam Kimmel.
Oh, Mimi in La Bohème. Oh, this I could sing all day.
Yes, but Madam Kimmel, about this water bill.
And then I sang Brunhilde in Siegfried. I say, Five, and they heard to me all over Europe.
I'll bet they did.
So, when they make out the contract, send me the money. I pay your water bill like nothing. Okay?
Yeah, no, it isn't okay. That is, if you can't pay your water bill, we'll simply have to disconnect your service. It's a rule of the department.
Oh?
Well, I'm sorry, Madam Kimmel, but business is business.
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, you American men, all you talk is business.
Well...
And you have the face of an artist, too.
Huh?
I knew a tenor in Naples who looks just like you. A very handsome man.
Really?
But, of course, you don't sing.
Well, I sing a little. Indian love call, things like that.
You do? Oh, I might have known it. Mr. Gildersleeve, sing for Madame Kimmel.
Oh,
Come on, stand up. Now, sing.
Well, just one chorus. When I'm calling you, will you answer too?
Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah?
Why, you have a wonderful voice. Why, you could sing opera.
Me?
Of course. Why, you even have a stomach like an opera singer.
Well, I could never really sing opera.
Not now, but if you work and study, I have an idea. I could give you singing lessons.
What?
I make you another Caruso.
Well, thank you, but I don't think...
I can see you now, at the Metropolitan. You are the toreador in Carmen, in the red cape. You sing. You are a sensation. When you finish, the audience applauds wildly. Bravo, Gildersleeve! Bravo, Gildersleeve!
Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to take just a few lessons. If Margaret Truman can do it, I can.
Good. Now, why don't we start right now?
Well, I ought to get down to the water department, but what the heck?
All right, we commence. Oh, I almost forgot. I charge $10 per lesson in advance.
$10?
Yeah. For an opera lesson, that is nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Oh, yes. Well, in that case, here you are.
Thank you. Now, I give it back to you.
What?
For the water bill. $9.50, was it not?
Yes, but...
There you are. You may keep the change.
Change.
Now, we commence the lesson. Sing out to me, please. From the diaphragm. Good. Now, this time, what's your legato?
Huh? Oh, yes, my legato. Madam Kimmel told me this morning I should practice for an hour after dinner. Better get right on it. I'm going to be an opera star someday.
Don't you feel well?
Huh?
Oh, what's the matter? You got a stomach ache?
Leroy, I feel fine.
You got indigestion, Mr. Gildersleeve? I'll get you baking soda.
For heaven's sake, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just practicing my singing lesson.
Huh? Singing lesson?
Yes, it's just possible that I may go in the Grand Opera.
Opera?
Uncle Mort. Are you kidding?
No, I'm not. Someday you'll all be shouting, "Bravo, Gildersleeve!"
Oh, for corn's sake. Opera? What next?
Good morning, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you? Cigars?
No, thank you, Peavy. I've given up cigars.
Oh? Economizing again?
No, it isn't that. I just don't want to take any chances of spoiling my legato.
How's that?
Skip it, Peavy. I want you to listen to this. La. Well?
Yeah, what?
How does that sound?
Sounds like the scale.
Yep. I know it's the scale, but doesn't it sound different?
No, sounds like the same old scale to me. I'm
not talking about that. Didn't you notice something different about my voice? Peavy, I'm singing from the diaphragm now.
Oh? Well, every man to his own choice, I guess.
Yes, but I'm taking singing lessons.
Well, that's a good idea. I've noticed you've been sounding a little flat lately.
Is that so? Well, for your information, Richard Q. Peavy, one of these days I may be singing in Grand Opera.
Opera? My. What are you going to sing? The trolley song from Carmen?
Oh.
You get it? Trolley song from Carmen.
Yes.
That was a little witticism. Trolley, car.
I know, Peavy.
I thought it was rather humorous.
Oh.
Well. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Hello, Hooker.
Gildy. Well, if it isn't our esteemed water commissioner.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm glad I found you two jolly boys together. I have some wonderful news.
Oh?
What's that?
Our quartet has been asked to sing at a big social affair at the Moose Hall next Friday night.
Well.
You ought to be a big hit there, Gildy. You look like a moose.
Very funny.
They've asked me to take charge, so I'm calling a rehearsal at our clubhouse tonight. We'll go over some of our quartet numbers. So I'll see you both there at 8 o'clock sharp.
I'm afraid you won't see me there, Horace.
What?
Yeah, looks as though the Jolly Boys Quartet will have to struggle along without me from now on.
Gildy, what are you talking about?
Well, that kind of singing is all right for you fellas, but I've got to save my voice for finer things.
What?
Mr. Gildersleeve is studying for an operatic career.
Opera? That's the silliest idea I ever heard of.
Oh, I don't know. Some people think I sound just like Caruso.
Caruso?
Yes. You're looking at a future star of Grand Opera.
You sing Grand Opera? Why, you can't even remember the words of My Gal Sal.
Oh! Now, look here, you old goat.
Gentlemen.
Just because I won't sing in your small-time quartet.
Mr. Gildersleeve, that's an insult to the Jolly Boys.
Yes.
You fellows are just jealous. You'll be sorry someday. When I leave Summerfield and go to New York, you'll miss me.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that.
Oh! Goodbye.
Bertie, you keep talking about testing parquet margarine.
Uh-huh.
Well, you eat parquet all the time anyway. What's the reason for testing it?
Well, I guess I just like to. Like when I test it out on them sweet potatoes before I serve them. I sure do enjoy that test. Same way when I try parquet out on hot waffles. That's a wonderful test, I'm telling you.
You mean you enjoy testing parquet's taste?
Yes, sir. I keep on testing parquet because that margarine tastes so good. Tastes like it should cost twice as much.
No doubt about it, Bertie. Parquet has a wonderfully light, delicate flavor. A luxury flavor. And, friends, here's the reason for it. Parquet margarine is prepared like a rare luxury food from the selected products of American farms. Yet for all its delightful flavor, Parquet costs only about half as much as the most expensive spreads. So, friends, we'd like to ask you to try Parquet on your own waffles or rolls or bread. See if you don't agree with Bertie about the wonderful flavor of Parquet margarine. See if you don't agree that Parquet tastes like it should cost twice as much. That's Parkay, Parquet margarine made by Kraft. Well, our budding opera star, the great Gildersleeve, is a little upset tonight. He's still determined to win fame, but he doesn't want to lose the friendship of the Jolly Boys. Right now, he's climbing the stairs to their clubhouse over Floyd's barber shop.
Better go up and apologize to Peavy and the judge, I guess. Hope they're not still mad at me. After all, the Jolly Boys are the best friends I've got, even if I can't sing with them anymore. Listen to him. Oh, my goodness. The judge is off key again. They do need me, all right. Well, it's too bad. I've got to save my voice for my career. You just have to understand.
Well,
hello, fellas.
Well, look who's here.
Hello, Judge. Hello, Floyd.
How do you do, Caruso?
How are you, Chief?
Well, how's the big opera star tonight?
Well, hello, Peavy. Peavy, aren't you going to say anything to me?
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do.
Aren't you in the wrong place, Gildy? This isn't the Metropolitan Opera House.
No, we're just a small-time quartet.
Now, fellas, you've got to let me explain. I'm still a jolly boy, just because I can't sing with you.
Oh, we couldn't expect you to sing with us. You got to save your voice for that high-class stuff like the quartet from Rigor Mortis.
Yeah. Fellas, you've got to understand.
Well, if you'll excuse us, Gildy, we're rehearsing our program for Friday night.
All right, I'll just hang around, and when you get through, fellas, maybe we can have a little card game. Huh? What do you say?
Well...
I don't know, Commish.
What?
Gildy, I'm afraid I have a painful duty to perform.
Hmm?
Since you seem to feel that you are too good to sing in our Jolly Boys quartet, perhaps you're too good to associate with our humble members.
But, Judge, I don't feel that way.
Well, we do. So on behalf of the Jolly Boys, I accept your resignation.
Resignation?
You've
Judge...
made your choice, Gildy. You've chosen fame instead of friendship. So there's nothing more to say except goodbye.
Judge, fellas...
Goodbye, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Go on, Commish.
And best wishes from Peavy's Pharmacy.
So you just go your way, Gildy, and we'll go ours.
Well, okay, if that's the way you feel. It's all right with me. I don't care. I got a lot of other friends. I don't have to be a jolly boy. I'll join the Moose. Yeah?
My, you're home early.
I guess so.
Uncle Mort, what's the matter?
Marjorie, your old uncle is no longer a jolly boy.
What?
They don't want to have anything to do with me. Just because I can't sing in the quartet anymore.
Can't sing in the quartet? Why not?
Well, I have to save my voice for finer things.
Oh, Unky, you're not taking this opera thing seriously.
There's nothing funny about it, Marjorie. Madam Kimmel thinks my voice has a lot of promise. Someday I might sing at the Metropolitan.
Oh, sure. Uncle Mort, why don't you forget all about this opera business and make up with the Jolly Boys? You know you want to.
Well, if they want to be like that, it's all right with me. They'll be sorry someday.
You poor darling. Good night, Uncle Mort.
Good night, my dear. Nobody understands. Well, I guess we great artists have to go through these things. I wonder if Nelson Eddy had this much trouble. Well, let everybody laugh at me now. I'll show 'em. If I work hard, study, someday I will be singing at the Metropolitan. You betcha. I can just see it. It's opening night. I'm making my debut.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm speaking to you from the Diamond Horseshoe of the Metropolitan Opera House. A capacity crowd is here tonight to hear the debut of the sensational new American baritone, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve. Among the special guests here tonight are the Jolly Boys from Summerfield. In just a moment, we're ready to begin. A hush falls over the expectant crowd. The curtains part. Mr. Gildersleeve is standing there confident, poised, his manly figure clothed in a red cape. He's about to sing the trolley song from Carmen. The Toreador song.
Toreador, atiento, toreador, toreador, non hablar che uno chattopador, adiam mirate intento, y que aspetta amor, toreador, aspetta amor, toreador, toreador, aspetta
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gildersleeve
Hello,
is taking
TV.
curtain call after curtain call.
Thank you. Somebody at the door. Darn it. Just when I was taking my 6th curtain call. Wonder who this is.
Good evening, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Oh, Madam Kimmel, come in.
Thank you.
I just sang at the Metropolitan. In Italian, too.
What?
Nothing. Sit down.
Thank you.
Well, this certainly is a pleasant surprise. You're coming to see me.
Mr. Gildersleeve, I've come to say goodbye.
Goodbye?
Yeah, I just received a wire. I got my job in New York.
Well, that's very nice, but what about my singing lessons? You were going to make me an opera star.
Mr. Gildersleeve, Madam Kimmel must tell you the truth. For 1,000,000 years you could study and still you couldn't sing opera.
What? But you said my voice had promise.
I know. Madam Kimmel is a naughty girl. What could I do, Mr. Gildersleeve? It was either tell you that or you turn off my water. Your voice isn't bad. It's good enough for singing in what you call barbershop quartets. But for the opera, no. I'm sorry, Mr. Gildersleeve, but don't feel bad. For 20 years I've worked to be an opera star. I never made it.
But, Madam Kimmel, you said you sang in opera all over Europe.
I did, but only in the chorus. In the back row. Now I'm too fat even for the chorus. So I'm taking this job as a cook in a little restaurant in New York.
A cook?
Yeah. I cook wonderful European style.
Uh-huh.
I work a while in New York, and I send you back your $10. And I hope you forgive Madam Kimmel for telling you a little fib.
Oh, that's all right.
You are a nice man. Anyway, Mr. Gildersleeve, maybe we are happier this way. Me a cook, you a water commissioner. Goodbye, my friend.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I wonder if the Jolly Boys will take me back. Fellas, Jolly Boys.
Well, you back, Gildy?
Yeah, you got to give me another chance.
What's that, Mr. Gildersleeve?
I was all wrong, fellas. Madam Kimmel told me I couldn't be an opera singer in a million years.
I could have told you that, Gildy.
Yeah, you were right. This is where I belong, fellas, in the Jolly Boys Quartet. Please take me back.
What do you think, gentlemen?
Well, I guess the commissioner's learned his lesson.
Sure. Welcome back, Commissioner.
Gee, thanks, Jolly Boys.
It's all right, Gildy.
And believe me, I'll never do another silly thing like this as long as I live.
Well, now, I wouldn't say that.
Come on, fellas.
For it's always fair weather when good fellows get together.
Sure is.
With a stein on the table. And
Taste comes first in a spread for bread. And Parquet margarine has such a light, delicate luxury flavor that you might not even suspect how nourishing it is. It might not even occur to you that every pound of Parquet is reinforced with 15,000 units of essential vitamin A. Next time you're at the store, get Parquet for its luxury flavor, its unusually large nutritional value. Yes, and for its economy, too. After all, this same delicious margarine costs only about half as much as the most expensive spreads. That's Parkay, Parquet, the margarine made by Kraft. Parquet, the margarine that tastes like it should cost twice as much.
Leroy.
Yeah? What do you want, Unc?
Leroy, there's something very special about this week. Do you know what it is?
Sure. Washington's birthday, and I got out of school yesterday.
That's one thing. But this is also American Brotherhood Week.
What's that, Unc?
Well, it's just a way of reminding us that all Americans, young and old, must join in the fight against religious and racial prejudice. You can do your part at school, Leroy, by judging your classmates as individuals, not by their religion or nationality. Remember, it has taken many different kinds of people, Leroy, to make America great. Brotherhood is more than just a word. It means all of us working together in the American tradition of tolerance, freedom, and understanding. Let's all remember that, folks. Good night.
The Great Gildersleeve, played by Harold Perry. The show was written by Gene Stone and Jack Robinson, with music by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Mary Lee Robb, Lillian Randolph, Earl Ross, Richard LeGrand, Hope Emerson, Ken Christie, and Arthur Q. Bryan. This is John Wall saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. And be sure to listen in next Wednesday and every Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Here's a real bargain, an all-aluminum silent butler. $1.50 retail value, and it's yours for only 50 cents and a Pabstet label. This silent butler is handsome enough for a gift, and it's big. Has a deep, generous-sized bowl, a long handle, a hinged top that opens at your touch. It's just the thing for collecting cigarette ashes or crumbing your table. Now, today, just get either regular Pabstet or the new Pabstet 2-pound economy loaf. Your dealer will give you full details about getting this beautiful aluminum silent butler valued at $1.50 for only 50 cents.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.